Hello and welcome back to Speedyfists. My name is Moody. I also go by Greycart, but tonight I'm just going to be Moody. We're going to be playing through some Fighters Megamix. It's 100%. Essentially all that means is we're going to fill in all of those blank character slots that you see now. Typically I like to play as Kuma-chan. And as far as the options go, I can't really read Japanese, so I don't know what difficulty that is. We do 2 rounds, 10 seconds per round. Some characters can be beaten in less than 10 seconds, but it just sort of speeds things up a little bit for the 100% run. But anyway, time starts on the course selection, so as soon as I select course A here, and it ends on the last hit of the secret character, which I think you all will enjoy. I'm actually going to be playing as Kuma-chan, and you'll kind of see we get some weird characters like that. It'll be fun. But without further ado, I am ready to go in 3, 2, 1. So course A here is pretty simple, and you'll see a lot of the strategy that we use. It's basically just going to be juggling the opponents and making sure their life is lower than ours. There's a couple of opponents that are easier to keep down. There's a couple of opponents that are easier to, like, take down within 10 seconds, and that saves a little bit of time, but the main thing here is sort of just playing keep away. Now, as far as, like, a couple other time savers, there's, like, that's the obvious one, is you want to not have any losses. You want to make sure that, basically those are minimized. But there's a lot of other things to consider here. So, for instance, you'll see a lot of the Fighting Vipers characters and some of the secret characters have this armor meter. And you'll see my character, Kuma-chan, on the left has some armor, and Pi on the right does not, because she's a Virtual Fighter character. If you break any of the armor, it actually plays an armor breaking animation for a couple seconds, but doesn't tick the timer down. So that's probably the worst case scenario, is we break armor on every single armored character, because that would waste a lot of time over the course of the run. But that's kind of the reason why I picked Kuma-chan, because he's strong enough to get some of those 10-second characters down. We'll see one here shortly, but he's also not strong enough to really break armor in the course of 20 seconds. Or 30 seconds in some fights. We might see a couple armor breaks, and it's not that bad. I mean, with my personal best, there's a couple in there as well, but as long as we can minimize that, that's probably the best way to do it. And yeah, like I said, Kuma-chan is just... part of the reason is for strategic purposes, as far as, like, reasons for selecting him, but also just the wackiness of the characters, and we'll see... It's pretty normal right now, but we'll see some more later down the line that are just amazing. And then the final fight is just a real treat if you're a big Sega nerd. And if you do know what the final fight is, please don't spoil it for anyone else in the chat. As far as time savers, the only other thing that I can think of is we can mash start, and there is a bit of a time saver at the end of each round. We actually reset the console, like the whole console, instead of letting the cutscene play out, because it's a little faster to wait for it to reload. And you still get to keep the unlocked character, I found out. So that was probably, after doing this on sort of a whim and sort of a joke, I actually started to get semi-serious with it, and just trying to find places to save time. And I think that was probably the biggest one, was just resetting the console, because it saves like a couple minutes over the course of the run. Now here's Grace. She's actually a character that's given me some problems in the past, but we're having a really good first course here. Haven't had really any losses yet. Had some close calls, but no losses. This bear. Yes, this bear. I think it's like a decoration in the Fighting Vipers games, but I don't think he's actually been a character in anything else. And actually in this stage here, you'll see his alternate costume, which is a panda. Instead of Kuma-chan, it's Panda-chan. So this is our first unlock of the game, which is Honey. And she's kind of interesting because sometimes she can be super easy, and other times she's just so much of a pain. Like I had not just a round loss, but a full loss to her on a run that I was practicing earlier this week. Okay, that's it. And then as soon as we see this Fighters Megamix logo, it's safe to hit reset. Oh no, the Ethans are here. Welcome to the chat, buddy. Yeah, the panda's great. Alright, time for Course B. This time it's going to be all Virtua Fighter characters. So this one's actually one that I don't really have to worry about too much. I can sort of just pump out damage. And some of these characters are actually the ones that I've noticed I can get those sub 10-second times on. So hopefully we'll see some of that in this course. Because the more time we can save with those sub 10-second runs, the better. We're here. We're Ethan. Get used to it. So, shout out to the Ethan group on Facebook. My first name is Ethan, and somebody shouted me out in a Final Fantasy group, I think is what it was. And it's this group of like 100 and something Ethans, and it's just for Ethans, except we have an Ethane and an Ethan with like an E. But I told them to all check in tonight in the chat. And there's some of the realest dudes I know. There's one for Matt too. Oh, I think that's actually the one they were talking about recently. They were talking about a group for just like a first name, and they thought it was Aaron, but apparently it's Matt. So one of the things I don't like about the Kuma-chan route are the heavy characters, because there's a lot of variance, I guess is the best way to put it, in the angles. Like, I have that little punch, like that uppercut move that sends them into the air, and they can tech it early, they can tech it late, they can actually, there's a little bit of, I guess the best way to put it would be like DI, because I mean, obviously with the SSBM name, I'm more familiar with Smash, but it's almost like they can angle their, or they can influence the angle of their trajectory. This might be one of those, yep. We didn't save a full second, but, you know, it's time. No DI. Yes. Oh, this might be rough. So one of the worst things that can happen to us is getting, like, grabbed and thrown. And it looks like I came back from that one just fine. But since we only have 10 seconds to sort of beat the opponents down per round, those throws can eat up a lot of time. And yeah, this game is ugly as sin. I don't blame you. Like I was alluding to earlier when Gooby was running Sonic the Fighters, we're going to see Bark in a little bit. Bark is also a character in that game. But Bark looks so much worse in this game. And it is most likely because it was a console game, but like he's just a lot more like stretchy, I guess. Like the physics engine or like the way the graphics work in Sonic the Fighters just always like seems super interesting to me. But in here, he's just like a stiff model. He's as stiff as Kuma-chan. And here's our next unlock. We have actually this unlocks two characters technically. It unlocks Kids Akira. It's always hard to say, and Kids Sarah, or sorry, not Kids Sarah. I think it's Kids Pie. I'm not entirely sure. But they're these SD. They're these SD characters that are like kind of hard to hit sometimes, especially with my uppercut, because like getting the timing down if they tech it is just really odd. And now we're down for reset number 3. Yes, the bear's arms don't move. He's a very stiff boy. Okay, so on to the next course. Okay, and we're going to do Vipers. So now this is one that I'm a little more wary of. Like I said, these are all armored characters. There's no unarmored characters, so I kind of have to be careful not to lose too much time here, but so far so good. And actually, with I don't think I've had any losses yet. If someone in chat could confirm, if with no losses, I'm on track to get PB. Because my PB had a lot of like one-off losses. Like I would lose a round, and it would cost me 10 seconds or so. And I don't want to. Oh, nice, no losses, sweet. So yeah, I don't want to jinx that or anything, but. Because there are some characters that have been notorious for giving me trouble in the past. Picky is actually one of them. Hopefully that got him. Nice. That one was a kind of a close call. Although it is kind of skewed because I'm sitting a little angled from my CRT. So some of the health bars can look kind of screwy sometimes. And yeah, Kuma-chan definitely is way too strong. He's obviously like triple S tier. And if he was put in any other fighting game, like, they wouldn't be able to balance it. They would just have to patch him out entirely. The only character that could come close is, like, Brawl Meta Knight. This is one that I absolutely hate because if I do my uppercut and he doesn't tech, he gets way too low for me to, like, continue the combo. I also love the way he moves. He just kind of like slides back. The only character that can beat Kuma-chan is Kuma-chan. Well, that's going to throw a wrench into my plans later. Because, like, obviously we're going to be fighting every character along the way. I genuinely can't wait to get to Course I for people who have never seen this game. Because Course I has some of the nuttiest characters, and it's just fantastic. And I wish I had time to show off some of the alts, but like some of the alts include a palm tree, which is the Sega AM2 palm tree, and a just a big thing of meat. Kind of think like One Piece, but also with like Rayman hands and feet. Like One Piece meat. Like how good it looks in that show. And now time for Uraban, the AM2 tree, Poggers. Yeah, I forget what character it is, but I know that's one of them in the game. One thing that I feel that they really missed out on was in the Japanese version of Fighting Vipers, you can actually unlock Dural, which is usually I believe he's a Virtua Fighter character, or she's a Virtua Fighter character. But in the Japanese version, instead of it being Dural, it's literally just Pepsi Man. It's the first loss of the run there. And there's actually a category. It doesn't exist yet. It exists in my mind, but there's a category called Pepsi %, which I definitely would love to do at some point in the future, but it's literally just unlocking Pepsi Man as fast as you can. And now we're moving on to the next course here, which the next course I believe is just girls, like girl characters. Yeah, girls. So we're gonna be done with this page. We have one more page to do, and then there's just one more after that. Because it's E, F, G, H, and then course I is the very last one. Course I is just fantastic. You know, all in all, I feel like I've been doing a lot better than my last attempts this week. But I also found out a lot of the time I was losing was actually just due to my capture card not being able to switch resolutions fast enough. Can I get the Noid? No. That's in the Easter Island exclusive version of this game. It's not rated by any rating board, so it's extremely hard to find in stores. Listen, I don't know what you're talking about. Giggles. That's totally not going to be one of the secret characters. And technically, it's not a Fighting Vipers game. It is Fighters Megamix, which is just a dream team fighting game. Now, this is one of the characters that has given me trouble. I know I've stated that in the past, but it always stresses me out a little bit whenever I encounter one of these guys in the run, because yeah, we end up like that, where it's extremely close. Oh yeah, you can see actually there. I didn't break it, but her armor was starting to glow, meaning that one more strong hit would have done it.
Fight. Ready, go.
Ooh, okay. That's not what we want to see. Please no throws. They didn't put the Noid in. There are no Easter Island exclusive games. Although, if you want to play some Noid games, there's actually like a fan-made game that's called like Noid 3D. I heard is pretty dope.
Fight. Ready, go.
Now this one is terrifying. This is one of the worst fights of the run, which is it's actually going pretty well so far. But whenever I have to fight Jane, she's a heavy. And she usually gives me trouble, so those are the two things that I don't want to see, like, ever. No Noid. Noid 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Ready, go.
You know, now I feel gypped that we didn't get Noid 2 Electric Boogaloo. I feel like that could have been a redemption arc for the Noid. Also, I haven't really jumped yet in this in this playthrough. I just realized. Usually, I'm a very aerial fighter, and I think I attribute that to just, you know, the amount of time I've sunk into Smash. But this game, jumping is a very bad idea. You do not want to jump. One of the other things I love about this is not just like the funny characters, because like, you know, Kuma-chan is great and all, but I love that Sega actually put some fan service into the game with like Janet from Virtua Cop, and they put in Rent-A-Hero. World record for this game is like it's on my YouTube channel. I forget the exact time. I always forget it, but it's like 43 minutes or something like that. I know I hold the world record. I should know off the top of my head, but I don't. Oh. I guess I was mashing too fast. Okay. So now we're going to do the muscle course. Muscle usually means heavy, although in the case of like Bond, not necessarily. Bond doesn't really go up too high, but his gravity is lower, even though he's like a heavy character. It's really odd. Oh, good, we got the throw. So throws in this game work kind of like really weird. They really only activate if you're right up on an opponent and like right up against a wall. So like you can't really throw Virtua Fighter characters as Kuma-chan. But I can do that. Just dash at him. Also, I really enjoy how some of the characters are in Japanese, and some of them are just like Jeffrey. They're just Jeffrey. And yes, we are mighty.
Ready, go! Fight! Ready, go!
Sweet. Well, we haven't had any issues from Jane, but we have had 3 losses so far. Sega knows how to make a meme game. Dude, you are right.
Fight! Ready, go!
So, Wolf is another one I can normally beat, or like sometimes beat, I guess, in less than 10 seconds, but the situation has to be kind of like set up in a certain way. Like I can't get hit at all, obviously, because it just takes up too much time. Sega does have a great sense of humor.
Fight!
Oh, here's Mauler.
Go!
The greatest part is this was before Sega really embraced like meme culture, because this was before meme culture. Okay, Akira's coming up now. Akira is one of the ones that, another one that I was able to beat within 10 seconds. Although I really should be taking notes on like what I did to get to that point. Because if I could do it consistently, then obviously that would save more time. Oh, Sega Gaga? Don't even get me started. I watched the Region Locked episode. Oh, here's Bark. Gooby, this one's for you. And see, he just looks so much worse in this game. He doesn't have those, like, elastic polygons. Also, can someone fill me in on the lore? Like, he wasn't in, like, a polar ice cap in Sonic the Fighter, so I want to know what he's doing here now. Oh, that's it. Get ready to reset, boyos. Alright. All in all, good pace so far still, even, like, despite the losses. We've only got a couple more characters to do, which is exciting. We're going to do Smart Guys next. World record pace. I mean, honestly, I haven't been timing it myself. I'll look at the time at the end of the run, or like have someone in chat confirm it for me. But, you know, with the small number of losses we've had and the perfect that we had earlier, I think we could be. Is the duck from Dynamite Ducks any good? I'm not sure what that is. So I didn't know Raxel was considered a smart guy, because where we're fighting makes me think that he's like a street thug. Although, again, I don't know the lore of a lot of these characters. I'm sure Sega has thought up some like rich, complex history, considering Sonic has the same thing. Oh. Thought that was round end.
Fight. Ready, go.
Always happy to see characters like Lion, because Lion's a pushover. You can just keep smacking him on the head.
Time over. Fight. Ready, go.
He did go for a throw there a second ago. That was kind of scary. That could have ended very poorly. The green duck in this is from an arcade game from Dynamite Ducks. Okay. Is Bean? I thought it was Bean. Because I thought Bean was a Sonic character. Unless it's like, is that like an alt skin for Bean? It's the second time that my hand has brushed that start button, which is not good. Oh. Oh, nice. We got it right when the round ended. Retconned into Sonic later. Ah, okay. Okay.
Fight. Ready, go. Time over. Fight.
Okay.
Ready, go.
Oh, he had a double tech there. That was pretty slick. Another round with Akira.
Fight. Ready, go. Time over.
It's always really close with Akira, but it's never close enough to get that. To get that, like, sub 10-second time.
Time over.
4426. Thank you. Ah, here's Rent-A-Hero. The weirdest thing about Rent-A-Hero is that he's the only one that has like a secondary sort of meter, I guess. It's not even a meter. He just has like this battery system, which I'm sure factors into something, but it's... I've never actually learned the character, so I'm not too sure. What are we at now, time-wise? Oh. Reset time. $29? Like 29 on the dot?
Give or take.
So we're not actually doing too bad right now. Okay. Dirty Fighters, which is always fun. It's a fun category.
Fight. Ready, go!
It's okay. I fight a little dirty too. I have the ref call it way before it's supposed to be over.
Time over. Fight. Ready, go!
There's that throw.
Time over.
Wow. Oh, we haven't seen him for a bit.
Ready, go!
I didn't know he was considered a dirty fighter, though.
Time over. Fight. Ready, go!
Oh, nice. We didn't actually take any damage before the timer ran out. That's actually a time that we want to get thrown.
Fight.
As if we're not going to take damage before the timer runs out. For obvious reasons. So this is kind of like where I was saying that Jane was giving me a lot of trouble. She can do these like real devastating combos right at the beginning.
Fight. Ready, go!
Nice. This is another end of match throw. Sega exclusive fighters. Yeah, kind of. It's
Ready,
essentially it's just like fan service for Sega fans. Like if you've been following like Sega fighting games ever since like the beginning more or less. And or just like a fan of Sega in general.
time over. Fight.
We love you, Jane.
Ready, go!
Nice.
Over.
Mahler I can definitely see being a dirty fighter. I fought him a couple times on Fighting Vipers.
Ready,
And his style is definitely like a dirty fighter in there.
time over. Fight. Ready, go! Time over.
Nice. But yeah, it's kind of like how when you take a character that was only 2D or like never even seen like Captain Falcon and then you see him in Smash and it's like a mind-blowing thing. That's kind of like what they did here with Rent-A-Hero and God, I can't remember her name, but the girl from Virtua Cop.
Fight. Ready, go! Time over.
Nice. Oh, here's another meme character. We've got Deku.
Fight. Ready, go!
Thankfully, this Deku doesn't know how to go plus ultra. So he actually ends up being a pretty easy fight.
Fight. Ready, go!
Nice. Okay.
Over.
Only 2 more courses to go. Might get a new record. I mean, each of the courses runs a little over 2 minutes. I have to kind of account and for the extra time in between like loading. So we'd be looking at 5 minutes from now, as long as I don't lose a whole lot. So now we get onto the 2 secret courses, which is bosses and then secret characters. And they're not 2 of the hardest ones. Like, they're supposed to get harder as time goes on, but these are a lot of bosses that we've already been fighting. Like, Durl isn't any harder than she was in the previous ones. She was like a cakewalk in the previous ones. So hopefully this goes pretty smoothly. Now we have Brutal Mauler, which is also affectionately known as bowel movement, hence the BM. Brutal Mauler is one of the ones that I kind of struggle with in the bosses category, because he's going to take that one there, yeah. I think I have had a full loss to him in the past, which is not good. Like, this might be a full loss here if I can't bring this back. Okay, I got that one. That's good. Okay, yeah, we'll take this one. A little upset about the 10-second loss there, but that's fine.
Fight. Ready, go!
All right, I'll take that. So another fight with Janet here. That's right, Janet. I always get her confused because I want to say Jane, but it's not, because Jane is the sort of the heavier character. Okay, not bad.
Ready, go!
Rent a hero again. Good job, thank you.
Fight. Ready, go!
Nice, good throw, okay.
Time over.
I'll take it.
Fight. Ready, go!
Okay. Just wanted to play it safe there. Didn't want to lose any more time than we needed to.
Fight. Ready, go! Time over. Fight. Ready, go!
Okay, cool. On to the last stage. Saiba, or Siba.
Fight. Ready, go!
This is not a character that we've seen yet, I don't think. And that's the move that terrifies me. So he has a move that takes basically half health, and you cannot get hit by it, or else you lose the match. If I could figure out how to do that consistently, or like play with all the characters at the start, I would probably be using Saiba. This is going to be a full loss. There's no way I can come back from that. I'm just going to have to eat that, unfortunately.
Ready, go!
That was not a good match with Saiba, but I haven't had any other full losses, so it's not bad. Thankfully, we didn't have to lose any more to him. Okay. What are we at right now, time-wise? 39? So this might actually be a world record. I mean, it definitely will be. actually, now that I think about it. Because we have one course left to do, which is only going to run us a little over 2 minutes. So as long as I don't completely screw this up, we're world record boys. So here's Panda Chan.
Ready, go!
And Panda Chan actually falls just as easily to our antics as some of the other characters.
Fight! Ready, go! Time over!
I get Bark again. And this is sort of like, Course I is really good because it's kind of like a victory lap. You get to see all the payoff, essentially, all the nutty characters that shouldn't be in a fighting game but are.
Time over! Fight! Ready, go! Time over!
Okay. Honey is kind of weird in this one.
Fight!
She's
Ready,
like,
go!
I feel like she doesn't belong. And I know I've stated that before on my streams, but like in a course that's all full of like meme characters, like she's not really a meme character.
Over! Fight! Ready,
Thank you for believing in me. Honestly, those though as oh, of course we would get that right at the end.
fight! Ready, go! Time over! Fight!
Don't want to get too far into that. Give me a Han
Go!
of the solo variety.
Time over!
H indeed. Oh hey, it's bean time.
Fight! Ready, go!
Did you know that wild bears are actually big fans of beans? They eat beans for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Time over! Fight! Ready, go!
It's literally from Sonic the Fighters. Yes, it's great. So the only time that we can fight Kid Sarah in the game is in this stage I. And she has a really powerful throw. I can't believe this game, ha ha ha. Yes, indeed. Oh, if I had hit that one. Alright, Hornet time. So this is the meme character.
Fight! Ready, go!
It is literally just Hornet from Daytona 500 or Daytona USA, excuse me. Except he's standing on his two hind wheels.
Fight!
All right, time is on either the last hit or the time up, so get ready for time. And time. Was that what was the time on that? 43:41.
Yeah,
Nice.
the record. It would have been on 43:48, but they didn't stop the timer in time.
43:41. Nice. We world record, boys.
Yeah, seeing somebody else did the same thing.
Well, all right. Thank you guys for checking this out. It's been really dope getting to do this for Speedyfists and, of course, for St. Jude's. And hopefully I'll be able to do this next time, if there is a next time. Ooh, maybe. Well, that's been fun, guys. I'm going to sign out, hand it over to Gooby, and I'll be hanging out in the chat for a little bit.